Okay, I'm back. I apologize for that. Uh, I knew he was coming by, and I thought my wife would be out of the shower, but she wasn't. So, anyway, it's how we do it, man. Life is real. All right, so those of you watching the replay here, I'm going to go ahead and answer some of the other questions that have come in. Okay, so Sunil, he asks the question, how long does our home inspection take? Honestly, when I go and I look at a property, that's my inspection. I don't hire a professional inspector to go in and look at the property. I'm looking at what needs to be done. And what are some of the obvious things to look for? There are 5 major things that I look for: foundation, roof, plumbing, electrical, and HVAC. So those are my 5 things that I look for. Again, plumbing, foundation, roof, electrical, and HVAC. Those are major ticket items that I need to see if they're working or not. In fact, we went and looked at this is a different house. Yesterday we went and looked at another house. This is a local guy. He's not local actually. He's about an hour and a half south of us, but he bought this house in our local market, and he bought it for $50,000, and he's trying to sell it for $110,000. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 750 square foot home. Way off the mark. South of where he's at, possibly, but where we're at, no way. And anyway, when we looked at that house, a house looks square, like it looks plumb. And this house, the foundation it was so weird because the foundation was fine, like no cracks, nothing disturbing about the foundation. But when you looked at the house, there was different sags in the roof and whatnot. But when you looked at the house looked like this. Even the door frame and the windows were like this, and one half of the house was more so than the other, and it was just like it wasn't plumb. And we're like walking around, we're just trying to figure it out. And he finally goes, we asked him, like, does the house look crooked to you? And he goes, oh yeah, this is an old army barracks that they had moved from the base here, one of the Air Force bases, and they brought it over, so the foundation is newer than the home. I'm like, oh my gosh, that makes perfect sense, because they just set it down and like that's how the house is. So it's like clearly something that we're not even going to even touch. But to answer your question, Sunil, is roof was definitely shot on this one, but there were issues with one of the subfloor, there's a beam that goes across the subfloor that was completely deteriorated, dry rot, just destroyed. So the house inside was like sagging. So foundations are definitely huge issues that we look for. We're able to find the biggest discounts, believe it or not, with when there's a plumbing issue and when there's foundation issues. Roofing issues, HVAC issues, those are all fixed with money. You can always just fix that. Except for when you have a roof and you have a house that we went and looked at a house last week, and the house, so in order to be a house to be lendable, it has to have a minimum of 7-foot ceilings. We were in a house that had barely over 6 feet. I'm not quite 6 feet. I'm 5'10", and there was enough clearance for me, and you can't do anything with that other than take off the roof, raise the ceilings another 1.5 feet, and or in this case 2 feet. It doesn't make sense to do those things. So those are the 5 major things that I look at. And again, we're walking through the house. I might take about a half an hour to go through and inspect everything, but I'm very confident with our ability to move a property. That's how I do it. If this is something that you're not comfortable with, if you keep those 5 things in mind, you'll be okay. You obviously have to take into consideration if your market area, if there's wood siding, if there's dry rot, if you're single pane windows, you need to upgrade to dual pane windows. Those types of things you want to keep into consideration. Obviously, if you're going to be looking at a house that needs to be completely remodeled or updated, so you can have 20/20 kitchens and bathrooms, buyers want those things, then you definitely have to equate that into the situation as well. So thanks for asking. Okay, this comes from Shanity. I hope I'm saying it right, Shanity. Shanity sent me this. They sent me a property address. It's a 4-bedroom, 1-bath home, free and clear. Not sure about ARV. The owner wants $99,000, $5,000 down, $975 a month. Seems like a pretty legit deal, right? So how would I go about evaluating this? So not sure what ARV is. Now, I'm fortunate enough that I actually have the address here. So what I'm going to do is, see how I do this. I'm going to go real time with you guys. I'm going to put this right here. And we're going to pull this thing up here. And I'm going to do it in a way that I'm not going to show you the address to keep it personal for this individual. So one of the things that I would do, again, if you're not in the business, you probably may not have resources. I have extra resources that allow me to go and look up most recent sales, but there are some free resources out there. Again, you get what you pay for, so I wouldn't trust the free resources 100%. Zillow is one of them you can go to. So I'm pulling up this property address here, and the Zestimate on this property, it says, so it's a 1,000 square foot home. The Zillow's estimate is $92,000. Okay, not too bad. If they're asking $100,000 for it or $99,000 for it, you're not too far off, especially if they're willing to do terms and if it's livable. One thing I do like about Zillow is that Zillow will allow me to. Let me see if I can do this without. It's not going to allow me to scroll up past the. I can scroll past everything else, but it's not going to let me scroll past the address, and I'm not going to go ahead and show it because I don't want to betray anyone's trust. So, but just so you know, on Zillow, hey, little girl. Yeah, it's your Lightning McQueen. You guys want to see my little... Say hi.
Hi.
This is Dorothy. How old are you?
2.
You're 2. Let me turn on your Lightning McQueen?
Yeah.
All right, let's turn on Lightning McQueen.
Hey, I'm so happy to see you.
There you are. He's happy to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Daddy's on a phone call. Can you go play with this, and then I'll come play with you when I'm done?
What ball?
Okay, go ask Mommy to watch the ball one, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
What me?
Be right back, Lightning McQueen. All right. So here what I'm doing is I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to look. And what I'm looking to see here is I want to see what rents are. Interesting enough here, this person bought this house for $31,000 in May of last year. So they definitely have a nice, healthy... let me turn off Lightning McQueen here. They have a nice margin. Hey, Zoe, will you take this out and close the door, please?
I was wondering if you wanted
I'm on a call.
some students.
Yeah, I will, as soon as I'm done. All right, so they have room if you needed to. So if the house is, so all fixed up, the maximum would be $100,000. So you can go, you have some negotiation room here. But what I'm looking for is rent. What is rent on this property? It says, looks like rent is $960 a month. So let me go back here. So $960 a month. What did they say that they wanted? Was it $975? Now, does that $975 include taxes and insurance? So, if you're buying this for yourself, Shanity, to live in, it could be a great deal. If you're looking at this as an investment for you to turn around and sell to somebody else, you need to get those numbers down. You need to be able to, if the owner wants $100,000 for it, if the home is not in tip-top shape, then get those numbers down, or get either one of the two things down. You want to either get the overall purchase price down, because you're going to be doing some sweat equity, or get the monthly payment down. My preference would be to get the monthly payment down, because you can inflate those numbers. If you're going to try and sell it, you can inflate that sales price to whatever you want it to be to justify your down payment that you're going to receive. But your hardest challenge you're going to be hit with is that rent. So I'm going to share with you two other things here. So, okay, we have the property address. So that's Zillow, okay? That's just based on Zillow. One of the things I like to do as well in the markets that have it is I go to Redfin. Redfin is very, very good. I'm on a phone call.
Okay, can you see a bug island?
Yeah, I'll definitely see your bug island when I'm done. Thanks so much. Redfin says, again, 92,000. So between the two, you can see that it's pretty accurate. However, there are homes that are being sold that are in the same situation for 75 and 60,000 too. So that's probably going to be on the high side. But it says that the median market rent is $12.50. So what I actually want to do on this property is I want to go to Rentometer. It's Rentometer. It's rentometer.com, and I'm going to put in the address. And by putting in the address, it's going to, and I'm going to put the rent. I'm going to put $950. Let's put $975 because that's what they're charging. $975. I'm going to say 4-bedroom, and it analyzes the rent here. And it tells me that the average rent in the area is, or the median rent is. Let me see if I can scroll this up here. No, I can't even scroll it up to show you. But it says it's $11.60. So I know from $975 I have a little bit of cash flow, but I'm gonna me personally, I would want to see that I don't do anything for less than $250 a month cash flow. So if I can get it rented for $11.50, let's say $11.50 is what I'm looking for. I'm gonna minus $250. I want $900 minimum from that seller. And I probably would drop it down to maybe $90,000 because I have two different places saying that comps are no $90,000 for this property, and that's if it's fully, that's a maximum ARV. So if there's repairs that are needed, then obviously you can get some room there. Okay, so anyway, I hope that helps. Last question that I got, and I'll check out and see what we have going on the any live questions you guys have on the live feed here. I have a mobile home in a park. I have great relationship with the park manager. This comes from Tommy. It's a 2008, 2-bedroom, 2-bath in great condition. The seller has the seller I have spoken to and is agreeable to do seller financing. They are asking $10,000 firm on price. It's assessed at $18,000. This would be my first deal, and I have not a clue how to set this up. So I wanted to ask you if you'd be interested in looking at this deal. Rent per month would be $325 range. So I don't know, Tommy, if that's rent for the park or if that's just what your rent would be on the property. I don't know. Let me continue to read here. I'm assuming that's going to be the park rental fee. Or also could be a bank and finance it and sell for much higher. I would like to leave it in the park just to keep my relationship with the park manager healthy. She gives me first dibs on any mobile homes in the park that come up for sale. Okay, I'm a little confused here because this is going to be your first deal, but she also gives you first dibs. So has she given you other opportunities before and you've not been able to perform on them? I'm not following what that means. Or if you perform on this one, she'll continue to give you first dibs. I just don't have a firm understanding of what that is. A guy here in my area is financing a home similar on terms like $2,500 down, $350 per month at 9% interest for 60 or 72 months. So for 5 or 6 years. Also, I have many leads wanting to rent or buy on payments. Just wanted to ask, because I watched your video, I have a good flow of deals sent to me by good wholesalers here in the area and surrounding areas that might be beneficial. I would like to joint venture on this one with someone who I could watch and learn, and do not have a clue about doing this deal. Okay, fair enough. This would be my first deal. Is this your first seller finance deal, or this is your first deal in general? Because it sounds like you have some deals and some relationships going, so I'm not quite sure there. Anyway, just give you the benefit of the doubt. Let's say this is your first deal, your first seller finance transaction. So I'm going to go with some assumptions here, and if these assumptions are wrong, you can adjust them. But I'm going to assume that, okay. So we're going to call this Tommy Mobile Home Park. And so we have $325 lot rent. And then we have a $10,000 firm price. So is that firm price, Tommy, is that all cash, or are they willing to take payments themselves? And if not, do you have the ability to pay cash for it, the $10,000, and then turn around and finance it? So those are questions that need to be addressed. So we can go ahead and walk through both of those scenarios here. So here's the question is, what is fair market rent in your market? I really don't know what fair market rent is. If fair market rent is $600 for a house, then what would someone be realistically willing to pay for a mobile home? And for how long? So let's see here. Let's say we had $10,000. Excuse me. At you said 9%. So 9%, and we'll do it for, let's do 72 months. All right, 10,000, 9%, 72 months. $180. So that's $180. So, what does that come out to at the end? I'm just curious here. You know, what's your 72? How much interest you're making? You made $3,000 in interest. All right, that's cool, man. It's a long time to make $3,000 in interest. So, me personally, if I were to do this deal, and I'm going to make again some assumptions here. Let's say that fair market rent is $700 in your market. Fair market rent is $700 for a house. But you said this is a decent one, but again, they don't have a whole lot of land. It's a mobile home park. I've seen some mobile homes that, parks, they have like pools and like community centers. I don't know what this one's like. I honestly don't. So I'm just going to assume that it's just standard run of the mill, nothing. So I'm gonna venture the guess that if a house is $700, they're probably not going to be willing to pay more than maybe $550, $600. So let's just call it, $600, because you said it was a clean mobile for a mobile. So what that leaves me with is if I have a $325 lot rent minus $600, that leaves me with $275. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve for that $275, or I might even do it at a discount. I might even do $250. So let's say $250 is my monthly payment. And I'm going to sell this for a little bit of a premium. You said it goes for $18,000, right? Is what it's assessed for. So let's just say $15,000. If we buy it for $10,000, let's just say we're going to sell it down for $15,000. And at $250 a month, let's figure this out and see what our interest is going to be. No, actually, I don't want to do that. I'm going to solve for time. I'm going to see how many months I can carry this out. Let's say 9% is our interest. And we're going to see how long it's going to take to pay this thing off. Ooh, I like those numbers. 131 months. 131 months. That's like 10 and a half years. It's actually more than that. 131 months is almost 11 years. I could do that. I could do that all day long. So that's me personally. Again, these are some huge assumptions here. That's what I would do. I would sell it for $15,000 and $250 a month for 11 years and call it good. That's it. They can pay it off anytime they want. They can get their own loan somewhere else, but that's how I would do that. So hope that answers your question there, Tommy. But that's what I would do. Let me go ahead and write this down so I can go ahead and I'm going to share these notes. They're not spectacular, but this is what they are. So I would do a $15,000 sales price, 11-year term, and $250 a month at 9%. So cool. That's exactly how I do it. But so I want to share with you guys two things. One is that you're just one deal away from changing your entire financial future. And I want to thank you for being here, for taking the time. I'm sure there are many other things you could be doing during your quarantine. But I want to thank you for being here. And I'll be doing this again next Friday, on Friday at 10 a.m. So If you have any questions, be sure to email them to bootstraprei@gmail.com. I'll be sure to answer your questions. Again, it's on anything real estate related. How to structure a deal, specific deals you may have, marketing, what's going on, state of the union, state of the market update, anything like that, anything you want to know, what we're currently doing myself, definitely share that with you. And then the second thing I want to share with you is to have faith, guys. I want you to have faith in 3 different things. I want you to have faith in yourself that you can do this. I want you to have faith in the thing that you are set out to do, that if you want to be a real estate investor, have faith in that. So 1, believe in yourself. Believe that real estate investing is going to be the career path that you're going to make this opportunity in. And then have faith to set out and do it. So you have to have faith in those 3 things or it's not going to work for you. Again, I'm going to repeat this. You have to have faith in yourself. Trust you. Trust the process. Trust the industry, and then trust the thing that you're going to set out to do. Whether that's going to be wholesaling, whether that's going to be seller financing, whether it's going to be flipping, whatever it is, trust the process. So trust the industry, trust the process, and trust yourself. Those are the 3 things you have to have faith in. And if you do that, I'm telling you guys that you're just one deal away from changing your entire financial future. We are still closing deals. I just got a check yesterday. Actually, the wire came in, and we are still making money. We are still doing very well in this economy. We're still seeing houses. We're still doing what we need to do, and there are still sellers that need to sell and that want to sell. Some of them, as I mentioned, the one that had their personal property that they needed to pay their mom back. Some of them, may not be there mentally, and they're just like, I don't know what's going to work, whatever. But there are still sellers, and we were working with the ones that want to be worked with right now during this time, and you can too. So I appreciate you all, and God bless, and I'll see you guys on Friday.